jest Gabriel.
All right, Cynthia, would you like to go?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Cynthia. I'm a junior at Gonzales High School. And after high school, I plan to go to university. I might want to be a vet or a nursing major. I'm not sure yet.
All right, Alejandro from the office, go for it.
All right, my name is Alejandro Ramirez, and after high school, I want to do landscape architecture and later start a landscaping company.
Thank you. Kevin?
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm a 12th grader. I go to SoCal High, and after high school, I plan to become a firefighter.
Awesome. Hi, Daniel. I see you're just getting connected. We were just doing introductions. If you can go ahead and introduce yourself with your name, grade, school, and what your plans are after high school. Can you hear us, Daniel?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself with your name, grade, school, and what you plan to do after high school?
My name is Daniel Serrano. I'm from Gonzales High. And then my plans after high school is to probably go to Fresno.
Awesome. All right, students. So today we have past Farms alumni, and I believe you guys completed Farms Advanced in 2018, I want to say, right?
Yep.
We have Juan Perez, who is currently the host of a First View podcast. You're a junior at Cal Poly, is that correct? And you do programs such as the core student, you're a core student coordinator and the trio student mentor, and your major is business. We also have Jesus Amador, who is a junior at Cal Poly as well, working on his plant science major. He's done internships with Cicada Seed as a physiology lab assistant. He's worked on campus in the horticulture unit as a unit assistant. He's also done product development. He's done a product development internship at TSNL Seed Company. And then we have Amanda Lindsay, who is the general manager at LC Farms in Aguada. Is that how you say it, Amanda?
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico. And you guys are conventional, or is that an organic farm?
It's organic.
Organic farming. So we're going to learn from these students today a little bit. And if you have your agenda, you can follow along with the discussion. And then also, students, if you can prepare some questions. I know Rocco and Cynthia and Alejandro should have some questions already prepared. Oh, excuse me, and Rocco. Alejandro did not come to our Friday meeting, so excuse me. But if we can start, and I'm gonna go around and you guys can share a little bit more about yourselves and what you're currently up to, and yeah, just share a little bit more. Amanda, would you like to start?
Of course. So my name is Amanda, and I'm currently the general manager at LC Farms in Aguada, Puerto Rico. I've been here for almost a year. So I got here right before quarantine hit. So life hasn't been too much different for me. I spend a lot of it here at the farm, and once a week I go out and take deliveries to a distributor who's here local on the island. And I spend my days working with the animals and dealing with the produce that I grow here.
All right, Juan.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? My name's Juan. I use he, him, his pronouns. So just kind of like what Leticia said, I'm from Cal Poly, and a lot of what I'm from is really focusing on business. So in the future, kind of like looking into ag, I really hope to go into the cannabis business, both on the distributor and hopefully producer side. I've been very involved in that industry for quite a while now, so it's been very excited to learn, and I learned a lot from the Advanced Farms program, just kind of like networking, and that's kind of something that I really want to push today is like network and try new things out. At Cal Poly, I actually have started 3 companies in the CIE, which is the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. I currently have one company who is starting to gain momentum, and we're actually going to pitch for $1,000 prize tomorrow. So I'm gonna actually drop my LinkedIn and the link to sign up for that event in the chat if you would like to go. and see us pitch. But if that anything business, feel free to ask me questions about.
Great. That sounds really cool. What are you pitching tomorrow?
Yeah, so what we're creating is pretty much a product that helps you give better gifts. So the way we do that is we have two main features. We have an interest board and then we have social features. So pretty much what you can think of is a registry combined with Pinterest. Because as of right now, everyone can use registries where they're ineffective and inefficient. And so we're really trying to modernize that registry and hopefully gain momentum to sell the product, to either have a company buy us out or to white label the service so that companies like Target or small corporations can use it for users to come on and buy their products. So we're still working out through a lot of bugs, but it's been very fun and exciting to work on that.
Great. Jesus?
What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? My name is Jesus Salvador. As Leticia said, I'm a third year in Cal Poly as well. Originally from Gonzales, so I see a couple people from Gonzales, which is cool. Myself, I'm more into the production / breeding side of agriculture. So that's where my internships have been, in seed production and the physiology of them. Just like Amanda and Juan, we were both in college a couple years ago, so we're hoping to be of help to any questions you might have today.
All right, so we're gonna start talking a little bit about your career pathway. And if you guys remember, we used to always talk about career pathways with partners, and now you guys have like a college career pathway or a workforce pathway that I would like for you to share with us, and kind of go through, even if you share some of the struggles and the successes you've had from high school until now. So Amanda, if you'd like to start.
Okay. So after I graduated from high school, I ended up going to Monterey Peninsula College for 2 years. I ended up at the end of my 4th semester, that's when I ended up coming out here to Puerto Rico. So I didn't really have much of a pathway. I didn't really meet too many different companies to be able to get where I was. I kind of just went circumstantial for me. I was going into animal husbandry to be able to breed and sell meat animals. And then that ended up bringing me here to Puerto Rico. So that's what I'm starting to do with the chickens that I have at my farm.
And how did that work? When you got to Puerto Rico, what did you have to do?
I'm definitely working on my Spanish, because in high school, I thought I was going to be an English teacher in Japan. So I took Japanese for 4 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So my Spanish was very much lacking. So that's one of my biggest struggles that I have to work on, is the different language barrier. But thankfully, the area that I live on the island, there's a lot of English speakers. So it's not too big of a barrier for me. But I've got help from the neighbors, and I've got workers who help clean up the farm and make sure that things run smoothly for me. So when I first started here, I was here with my mother and my father. And then we were working for a couple of months, and some circumstances occurred where my parents had to go back to the mainland back in September. So it's just been me and my sister, and we've been in charge of the whole growing and raising and selling and taking care of the farm and everything all by ourselves. So it's been quite the different kind of situation.
Oh, that's really cool. All right.
It's definitely different than what I'm
doing. Of course.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
so I think with me, from a young age, I just kind of always wanted to have my own company, or just at least know that I am able to like take care of myself. If I'm able to like work for myself or whatever that may be. So I've really tried to do anything in my possibility, like that I can get my hands on for opportunities that works within business and allows me to get in-person kind of like opportunities and a lot of good experience. And I think like going from high school to college, the biggest kind of barrier was definitely finance, but I was really able to like push scholarships. Honestly, like I would grind scholarships every single day my senior year, and I was able to receive a full ride to go to Cal Poly. So that really, really did help me. But I know that if it wasn't for those kind of like sort of opportunities that I would have taken, I probably would have been at community college. But I also do think that that's a really good route to take, because sometimes we just don't really know what we want to do after college. And that actually is a case for a lot of the friends that I have at Cal Poly. Sometimes they go back to community college because they just simply don't know what to do. So I think I'm a very big advocate for vocational schools, trade schools, and also community college, just because college has been getting very expensive nowadays. So I'm open to talk about that as well. You're on mute.
Oh,
Yeah.
go for it, Jesus. How's your pathway been so far?
So my pathway's been, I came straight into Cal Poly, straight out of high school. I did think about community college, which is, I was gonna add on to Juan. It's a very um, good idea as well, especially if you don't know exactly what you want to do, because at a like as an 18-year-old, you have a lot of ideas, and it might not be what you end up liking as you progress through the years. That's sort of what I've been seeing with a lot of people as well. They change their majors and stuff, which is okay. For myself, I'm debating a couple pathways I want to go into, especially because agriculture is very broad. So through the help of the internships and stuff I've been going to, I've been seeing stuff that I don't like, stuff that I enjoy more, and hope to narrow it down to a specific thing. But yeah, so there's no wrong way, I guess, to take a career path.
Great. And Kevin, do you remember your question that you had? Oh, we lost Amanda. Hold on, let me get her on here. Are you there, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you remember the question you prepared? Would you like to ask that?
Yeah. Well, it's a two-part question. First off, what necessarily kind of got you interested in the agricultural kind of field, and what kind of, I guess, job opportunities or pathways did you consider before heading into the agriculture sphere?
We can start with Jesus. We'll go backwards this time.
Okay. Can you repeat the first part? I remember the second part you asked about.
Yeah, I just asked, oh, shoot, I just, give me a second, lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
I think you said what
First,
jobs you considered before ag.
okay, yeah.
And
Sorry, you cut off a little bit. My wife is not that good, but look, I did consider a lot, I guess. Especially like as a kid, you want to try a lot of different things. But I was never set on one thing aside from agriculture. I grew up around agriculture. My parents, that's what they worked in, and in Mexico they have their own like little farm and stuff. So I was always around that. I always thought that was what was good for me, and came to college with that thought. And as I'm exploring it, I come to realize how much I like it. So I guess there's no other, but like I guess the usual like astronaut or stuff like that as a little kid.
So I think for me, kind of sort of similar, I came in to the ag industry because my parents worked in the ag industry, and being from Salinas, Salinas and kind of like the Salinas Valley, we have a lot of ag surrounding us. But honestly, I came in as an ag business major for Cal Poly, and I actually switched to a business major. And the reason for that was that I didn't feel super welcomed at the ag industry, especially I guess like in Cal Poly's ag department, specifically in ag business. And I think it might have just been that I wanted to explore more outside of ag. So with that, I was like, you know what, I can go into business. And with my business degree, I can go into whatever industry I would like, knowing that I already have a strong foundation and strong networks within the agriculture industry. I would love to just kind of expand and do a lot more in a lot of other industries. So I would say that just know that even if you get a degree within ag, it doesn't mean that you have to work in ag. You can also work in other things, and vice versa. If you don't have a degree in ag, it doesn't mean that you can't work in ag. And I think like knowing those sort of opportunities that are available to you are very much so important going into kind of what you want to be in a career. Because at the end of the day, as long as something that you're working on makes you happy, that's the thing that you should be doing.
All right, you're up, Amanda. Did you hear the question?
I missed part of it. Sorry.
So he asked what careers you considered before finding yourself in agriculture. And then your second question, what was that, Kevin?
I guess what led you, I guess, down the agricultural pathway?
Did you hear that, Amanda? What led you to ag?
I do not know. Okay. So before I ended up going to the ag industry, or the whole idea of wanting to be a part of agriculture, I wanted to be a teacher, actually. I wanted to be an elementary school teacher because that's what my mom did when I was growing up. So she spent a lot of her time with kids with special needs, and I always thought that I wanted to follow in her lead. And then when I got into high school, I ended up I had my science teacher, Mr. Wyrick. He came up to me and he asked if I wanted to raise sheep. And I'm like, I've never thought of something like that before. I think that's a fantastic idea. And that ended up leading me onto my road to want to be in agriculture.
Nice.
All right. Students, do you have any additional questions on their career pathways? All right, so I think we can move on to our next topic, which is classes, clubs, and community. And I think Cynthia had a question prepared for that. Did you want to ask your question, Cynthia? Do you remember?
Yeah. So my question is, what clubs are you involved in at your university or in your community? And why did you choose to be involved with those specific ones?
And we'll go backwards. So Amanda, if you want to start that, maybe what are you linked to in your community?
Yeah. So right now we've got a fresh farms hand that helps people who are interested in volunteering at different farms and different communities and different groups. And I have some people who come help me out on the field and helping me with animals. And I ended up getting into that with my distributor, actually. She's helped me connect with a lot of the people in the area. And I've learned how to be able to deal with more people. I'm not much of a outgoing kind of person, sorry for my vocabulary. So I definitely ended up becoming more being used to having more people around the farm than it just being my sister and I.
I think that she's done saying her. Cool. For me, I've been involved in a lot of clubs and organizations. I think like if I had to count, like I think 10 ever since I was in high school. And I've also been able to take on a lot of other different opportunities like jobs and internships. Specifically, one that I was really excited about, I was able to be a marketing manager for a up and coming CBD company. So someone that produces hemp. And so I was able to do that for about 6 months until SLO decided that hemp was illegal in the city of SLO and the county of SLO. So there's been a lot of things that have been like up and down, but I think that in terms of like organizations and what I take from them, I really just try to get involved into things that I like to do and that I think will benefit me. Because at the end of the day, if I don't like being somewhere in a meeting, like I'm just not gonna go. No matter how much like benefit it has to me, like if I really don't like it, like you will not see me there. So I think that's kind of like some advice that I would give everyone is like, if you really want to be there and you really like it, you know, it has benefit to you, like definitely go and really involve yourself. Kind of like what you're doing right now, because within farms, I've been able to meet a lot of good people that will help me in my future. And so keeping in contact with them is very, very much so important for my success. And that just kind of comes off with different clubs and organizations. Like if I'm going to be going into something, I want to be going into something 110% because I know that I will like doing it, and it's just going to make me, I guess, a better person overall.
For me, aside from farms and FFA in high school, I really didn't do much. Like I would just go to school and go home type of thing. Um, However, when I got into college, right here at Cal Poly specifically, it was a big like culture shock to me. So my first year, I did join a lot of clubs, a lot of them being to find the essence of home, I guess I'd say, a lot of cultural clubs. And they really helped me out. I found my sense of community and all that. So that's what I focused on. And by the end of my first year, I decided to make a club. So I'm currently the president of it. And it's been helping other students feel at home and welcome as well, which is basically what my first year experience, what I hoped it to be, is what I'm trying to make it be. So that's what I'm continuing on forward.
What is your club called?
My club's called Latinx Cultural Association. So in Cal Poly, there's not a lot of like Latino people. I'd say there is a percentage of them. However, the clubs are kind of scattered. There's like Latinos in agriculture, Latinos in business, stuff like that. But there wasn't one main club to like have every Latino, I guess, feel welcome and can be a part of. So we decided to make a social club where anyone could join, anyone who wants to learn about Latino culture. So that's what it's basically based off of.
Great. And I have a follow-up question for Amanda. When you first got to the island, did you guys do CSAs or how, or you just did direct distribution to markets and stuff?
Yeah, so for our beginning, when we first had our gardens up and going, we did a CSA, which was a 3-pound box of produce for $10. And we were able to distribute that really well throughout the community. A lot of people were really interested in it. So to be able to keep up with demand, we actually reached out to the other local organic farmers, and we had other people helping us pull in different kinds of like commodities that they were specializing in. We have one that we reached out to who was really into plantains, which is like a type of banana. And we had others who did pineapple and guanabana and soursop and all kinds of fun sounding vegetables and fruit and all kinds of fun stuff that people were really interested in.
And did that bring the community to you? Kind of made it easier to connect?
It really did. My mom was a part of the agricultura organica, and she helped people connect with each other, and they started really bringing the small farmers together to be able to help each other out and be able to really make a difference for each other and be more profitable throughout the community. Because for a place here, like here in Puerto Rico, we are really on our own. We don't have much outside influence. It's a lot of what happens here on the island is going to be what the island gets. So it's definitely, you've got to work with each other to be successful.
Great. And do students have any follow-up questions in regards to clubs, classes, and community? Maybe a question on their classes or anything you're interested in learning more about?
Well, I mean, I guess what's your favorite club? What's the club that you've had the most fun and memorable, I guess, time in?
The question was which one's your favorite club, right?
Yeah, the most
Yeah.
memorable.
Well, I mean, for me, it would be the one I founded, partly because I like seeing people, the effect it has on people and how it makes them grow. And especially with myself, it helped me grow a lot because I know I was like a introvert, and now I really can't go about my day without talking to people. So it really shifted me for the better, and it's helped me just getting to know how to talk to people and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it definitely was a club called CPE at Cal Poly. It's Cal Poly Entrepreneurs. And I just think that it was so memorable because they would bring in founders of different companies every single week. And so every single week we would be able to ask questions about their company, about how they were able to make like create profit, how they were able to market their sort of product, and maybe like even like product ideation, how do they come up with their idea. So it's been really fun to be able to do that, but also meet other people who are working on different companies. And so, like I said, the people that we're going to be in the finals for tomorrow are people that I know have been working on their companies for a while now. So it's really cool to just see everyone like in that process of, and in the process and journey of building their product and redefining what it means for them to pitch or to essentially have a business model. So it's all very interesting and it's all very fun.
And do you have anything to add to that, Amanda?
Not too much, just that it's very interesting learning about the different community here. It's a lot more together than it was back in California. Things are very dependent on the people around you and the different abilities that your community might be able to help you out with. Because it's just some things that you don't have to be good at everything. You just have to be good at a couple of little things. There's other people who can help you out, and that is definitely something that I learned is a very valuable skill here in Puerto Rico.
Great, thank you. Students, do we have any additional questions on that topic?
Can I just quickly mention, like, for those who are looking to just kind of like grow as individuals, like just get involved. Like no matter what like level that is, if it's just like attending something, just make sure that you like doing it and make sure that you put yourself into that position of, hey, I want to grow or I want to be this person on this team. And it really is helpful. Like Jesus, like I've seen his club grow and I've seen the people in his club and it's been like super amazing to see. And so like be part of that change and be part of that momentum. And all it takes is really for you to say yes and for you to try.
Good point, thank you. All right, so we'll move on to our third topic, life before and after COVID. And Rocco had a question. Did you want to ask your question, Rocco?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how did COVID affect like your, well, your, did it like open up new things, or did it like shut down a lot of any progress was made, or has it like made it to where you're unable to do things like that involve what your um goals were supposed to be?
We can start with Amanda.
Yeah, that sounds good. So for me, I got here right before COVID hit. I didn't really have too much going on. I was just learning how to be able to work the farm and being in charge of the animals and the plants and stuff. But something that we did have going on was we had a lot of people who would come in and look at the farm. We had people who were interested in helping out and getting their hands in the dirt and playing with the animals and teaching the goats how to interact with people and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And after COVID hit, we had to shut all of that down. We had to limit it so we can't have anybody coming here to the farm. Everything is still on lockdown. We don't have access to anything on Sundays. We are locked down into our houses. There's a 10 p.m. Lockdown. Nobody's allowed to be outside after 10 and before 5 a.m. So things are still shut down pretty much here. We've got masks on all the time, not allowed in anywhere. Things are really still slow. It just makes things a little more difficult, but as long as people are communicating with each other, then we're figuring things out, and so far people are surviving.
I think for me, it was kind of a little bit of everything. There were some things that I wasn't able to do. For example, obviously meet people and meet one-to-one for some of my mentees. And I was in charge of coordinating a program for incoming freshmen at Cal Poly, and we had to do it virtually. So I think a lot of what your question is just kind of like, are we adaptable and should we be adaptable? Yes, we have to be very adaptable. I started my podcast during quarantine, which was a really good opportunity for me to just get to know people and get to know what it means to like work with, I don't know, iMovie and editing, like production. And so it was really cool to just do that. And I probably wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for COVID. On the flip side of that, I had to do pretty much work on my startup with my co-founder every single day through Zoom, which in one turn it was bad, but in the second it was good because we were able to work a lot more and get a lot more work done. So there's been things and times where online really doesn't work, and honestly, like online school isn't really the best and it doesn't feel the best, but it really is what you're doing now will lead to how you will probably be successful um, after COVID. The name of my podcast is The First Few Podcasts, where pretty much we talk about people of color and problems that we've been through and try to, you know, break down issues that are really hard to understand and try to help others understand and others relate to it. We did season 1, we're working on season 2, but how it's looking like right now, there's a lot of people that are very busy, so we're trying to see like what's best for everyone on our team. And I think that also goes to show like we've gained a lot of momentum with the podcast, but like currently we might have to like discontinue it just because of the circumstances of all of our team members. So I just wanted to state that because sometimes people mention the podcast and I think it's super great, but there's also a point where we have to be like, you know what, like we have a lot of other things going on, we're going to stop it. And it's okay to do that, and it's okay to stop and fail and to like kind of push forward without, you know, leaving some things in the past. And that's actually what I've been doing a lot lately. A lot of the clubs that I mentioned I actually dropped in the beginning of the year because I thought it was important for me to learn a little bit more of how to control myself and then control my external circumstances. So that's been a very big kind of like theme that's been going on through COVID as well.
I mean, for myself, the big one, as most of y'all probably, the school, online school, has been quite a shift. Um, I don't personally don't like it. I'm sure a lot of y'all don't like it as well, just because I think it takes some aspect away from it. And especially here, we went from having like I guess a repeated schedule. You have to get out of bed and then go over to your class and all that. It just changed to um, like I guess something more leisure like, which if you don't adapt to it, it is gonna slow you down a lot. It is gonna change your the way you are. But personally, I just saw it like as a growing experience. I did change a lot since when COVID hit and right now, which is good. I've been trying to do like daily activities as well. Like Juan said, it opens opportunities for businesses and stuff like that, or try something new, which is, I guess, the good side of it. The negative side of it, well, a lot of stuff slowed down. And your life is changing, but if you see it as a learning experience, it should be good.
So I have a follow-up question. How has it changed business for you, Amanda? And for Jesus and Juan, like how has it changed um, your class schedule and like time-wise? Like how are you seeing, how much time are you putting into the business and how much time are you putting into school now? How has that changed?
Yeah, so for me, before quarantine hit, we had people coming over and we had a lot of help from the community to be able to keep the garden going. And all I had to do was help manage people and direct them where they were going. But now it's a lot more of my work. I've put a lot more time into tending the animals in the garden than I had to before. I oversaw everything before basically, and now I'm definitely doing a lot more of the work because I don't have the manpower and the help to be able to just oversee anything anymore.
For me,
Yeah.
it's been a lot more work to be honest with school because I think professors are like, hey, you're home, so you can do more work because you're not traveling to school, or like honestly a lot of like nonsense. I think a lot of professors have just taken this time to assign more work and assign more, like, I don't know. I think Jesus can probably like talk to this a lot more. but just kind of like assign more work that needs to be done that's busy work. So that's been kind of hard to manage, but it's also been a good opportunity to just like know what it means to work from home and what it means like potentially if I were to work on my computer in the future after college, like how much work there has to be done and how much organization you have to do to be prepared to work on your laptop. Let's say if you're working from a work from home kind of like job in the future.
Yeah, just as Juan stated, there is a lot of busy work. Professors take their, I guess they're taking this as an opportunity. They believe that since we don't have class in person, we have more time to work on stuff. But at the end of the day, I feel like you just end up piling more work to yourself at times. Like you could think, oh yeah, I could do this like later, and then you don't realize you have another project, and now you have two projects or something like that. But it's like it's good in the sense that you could mess up right now and learn from it, and then later apply those things you learned in the future. Like Juan said, maybe you have a job that's going to be all online, so it's just preparing you for it in a sense.
All right. And I thought it'd be cool for our students to share a little bit about how COVID has changed school for you. And I know we haven't really talked too much about it, but I thought it'd be a great opportunity for you guys to go and share a little bit about the difference between, school before and school now. So if we can start with Alejandro.
Yeah, so COVID for me, it's been different, but I took a lot of new opportunities during COVID. During the spring when it had started, I was taking Harnell courses, and well, it was different because we weren't in class anymore, and it kind of disrupted the whole vibe to what school was and is. The teachers at the beginning did begin to pile a lot of the work, and that kind of it didn't make sense, but we had to deal with it because there wasn't any getting out of it. Thankfully, I was pretty organized. I would every time that an assignment would come in, I just complete it because high school work wasn't as challenging as college work is. So I take more time doing my college work rather than spend more time or just prolonging the assignments when they're pretty easy to do. And then during the fall, I started taking two Hartnell courses, and I only have four classes for high school. And it was tough to get used to because the Hartnell courses there isn't really interaction between the professor and I. And both of my professors they don't have classes, so it's all asynchronous work, and it's pretty tough because sometimes you have questions and you email them, but they take like even a week. I've had to wait a week for my professor to answer sometimes, and it's been tough, but um, I've gotten through it, and I think as long as I adapt to it, it'll be all right as well. I took the opportunity to work as well with my dad. We do landscaping, so that also gave me more time to work, make some money, and get a lot of job experience that I couldn't have gotten if school was in the way.
Thank you. Cynthia, did you want to share a little bit how things have changed for you?
Yeah. I think honestly, COVID has done more, well, not COVID, quarantine has done more good to me. I've been like able to join more things. I've been able to like tell myself like, oh, be involved in this. I've been taking Heart Now courses, just more involved and participating more. Maybe because I'm like more introverted and I like to learn by myself. And I don't know, not I don't really enjoy a lot of like being around people. So I think this has honestly been better for me. I do agree with everybody else though that teachers just kind of want to add on so much busy work because they think you have so much time. And well, we do have more time, but at the end of the day, it's like so much hard work and you get kind of overwhelmed. But yeah, that's pretty much like the only bad thing about it to me.
Thank you for sharing, Cynthia. Rocco, did you want to go?
um, yeah, at the beginning, would plan work,
You're breaking up, Rocco. I
and
can't hear you really.
but then ever since the fires hit, they
Marco, we can't hear you.
If you want to try turning your camera off, the audio might
began
sound a
to
lot better. You're breaking up, Rocco.
yeah, start and table. Is this better?
Yeah, it's a little better. Just speak up. Yeah, it's a little better.
For me, COVID was, or online school at the beginning, the teachers did pull off extra homework and extra work, so that sucked. But then, like, once the fires hit, then they put out less homework. I was able to do like the work that they were giving, so then my grades would go up. So other than that, nothing really changed as much. Other than I'm home more. So yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you for sharing. And Kevin, did you want to share a little bit about what's changed for you?
Yeah, you can hear me, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's been going pretty well for me actually. Uh, you know, similar to kind of what Cynthia said, I work better in a much more like uh introverted kind of workspace. I do much better on my own than say with other people. So that's really like reflected on my grades, and I have really good grades right now, probably the best I've had since like I think sophomore year. And I'm really proud of that right now. So overall, it's been going really good for me. It's given me a lot more time to really focus on my grades and improving them and whatnot. And they're doing phenomenal right now, and it's giving me more time to read, relax, work out, and just kind of partake in activities that I really enjoy. So overall, it's good. It's been going pretty well for me. So
Great. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing. And now for our last topic. I wanted to ask what advice you guys all have for current Farms Advanced students, whether it be in choices of college or networking, whatever kind of advice you have. If you can go ahead and share that, that would be great. And we'll start with Jesus this time.
I say just I guess what I would want to hear most of it. Let's see. I'm trying to think what I would want to hear when I was in high school. I know first one is to learn how to network and stuff because it's gonna be helpful. Not even just networking, just learning how to talk to people or befriending them, I guess. So that'd be one of them. And as in college wise, definitely look into what college you think is better for you. If you need more time to think about it, go the community college route. You do end up saving money as well. Um, I think that's the biggest one.
I think this is always like a hard question, just because there's a lot of advice and everyone's different and everyone has different priorities and stuff. So I think for me and something I've been trying to really just try to implement in my life currently is take a deep breath, step back, and just figure out the next step. Like it doesn't have to be the next step in your career, but just like the next step today, and go from that. So like let's say that you do want to have a career in ag, take a step back and say like, what do I need to do? And your first step honestly is joining this program, which you already are in. So that's a really good, this is something really good about you already. And I think in general, just think about what you're going through and what you want to happen. The more you can think about things, the more you're able to plan to execute them. So for example, if you do want to learn how to network, research like what it means to network and research what it means to like have good networking techniques, and always do that sort of research for anything you want to do. So let's say that I want to go run a mile. I can go run a mile, but if I do research on how I can run a mile better, it'll make that running a mile better a lot easier. So just kind of use that sort of analysis into your own life where you're taking a step back, looking at the problem ahead, doing research, strategizing, and then executing, because there's so many problems we all have, and they're all so different. And we need to be able to learn to approach them in the way that works for us, not necessarily the way they work for other people. That's something that I got wrong when I was listening to advice, is that when I would hear advice, I would be like, wow, that worked for them, it's going to work for me. That's definitely not it. You got to find your own, I guess, pretty much like your own vibe and your own kind of way that you can get help and you can help yourself.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that because he said very true. I guess that's sort of why I have trouble thinking of it as well. Honestly, just stay true to yourself. Do anything that you want to do while maintaining that sense of like your personal identity, and find ways to achieve it that will work for you, because a lot of people are different. Like the advice I've been given sometimes does not work for myself. And I've thought like, oh, maybe it's me, or but it, in a sense it is you, but don't blame it that you can't do it. Just look at it for a different way that will make it easier for yourself, type of thing.
So I think my biggest piece of advice is going to be make a plan for yourself, but also allow something unexpected to happen, because you never know where that's going to take you. It's important to look at where you want to go and what you want to do after you're done with high school. You want to go to college and you want to be able to do this. But if something ends up pulling you away from that path of college, don't be afraid of taking that path, because it could take you somewhere amazing and unexpected. So also another piece of advice is focus on passing your classes in high school. It's important to be able to get through them all, but don't feel stressed to get the best grades to please other people. You need to watch yourself and be able to push yourself as much as you think you can handle. Because if you're going to go straight to one of the four-year colleges after high school, they're going to look directly at your grades. What no one ever told me was that if you go to a community college, they look more for people who went to community college and lasted both years and were able to go through that with, and to get out of community college with good grades, because you were dedicated to be able to get out of high school and go do something that was going to be more challenging than just hopping into another 4 year. So if you're going to go to a community college, don't be too stressed about your grades, because they're going to focus a lot more on your community college grades. So don't be afraid.
Thank you. Yeah, and I definitely would add, you know, it's okay to fail sometimes and allow yourself to learn from your mistakes. That yeah, that's the only thing I would add for you, for students. Thank you guys so much for being here. And for my farm students currently, I sent you an email with a little video about our current packet and kit that we're working on. And in there, we're going to be working on a 30-second me. I ran through it with some of you on Friday, but it's basically just focusing on putting together your hard skills, your soft skills, and answering the question, tell me a little bit about yourself. And so I've asked our alumni, because we used to do this in our advanced class, we used to do some role play and practice and all that stuff. And so I thought they would be the perfect people to demonstrate how to do a 30-second me, right? They also call it an elevator pitch or elevator speech. So basically what you're trying to answer, if you guys remember, Juan, Jesus, and Amanda, you're answering the question, tell me a little bit about yourself, right? And so I'm gonna give you no more than a minute to demonstrate. And this should be fun. All right, who wants to go first?
I can just do it. I think just also really important as you're thinking about these things in terms of like an elevator pitch, know who your audience is, like who are you talking to, and like really tailor what you're saying to them. So right now I'm just kind of saying this in general and kind of like looking for some sort of mentor. So hi, my name is Juan Perez and I am a business major at Cal Poly. I am skilled in marketing, business organization, and structure. I have a lot of skills within entrepreneurship that has led to invaluable opportunities within leadership. I have started 3 companies and have worked with over 10 leadership groups. Connect with me on LinkedIn and I'm looking for a mentor. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you. Short and simple. Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Who's next? Who wants to go? Amanda?
Okay, I'm a little afraid, but I'll go next.
Okay, go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm currently the head manager of LC Farms of Puerto Rico in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. I currently own 2.5 acres in charge of produce and animal care. I am skilled in time management, risk management, and being able to communicate with other people. I enjoy working hard and being outside and working with those around me and being successful as much as I can. I focus on trying to get money out of my project and being successful in helping the community. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, students, I hope you're taking notes. We're going to have you guys practice next month. So are you ready, Jesus?
I'm really bad at these. I'm sorry. Probably not the
Okay, you can do
best
it.
example for this, but
It's okay.
hello, my name is Jesus Amador. I'm a 3rd-year Cal Poly student majoring in plant science. I'm from the Salinas Valley. Being from the Salinas Valley, I have immersed myself in agriculture since a young age. I have had 3 past internships, which have helped me develop my skills in organization, communication, and boost my boost my adaptability during these COVID circumstances. With that said, I'm very interested in your company and would like to know if you have any openings for any internships that I may be beneficial for.
Awesome. So thank you guys for joining us, for entertaining us, and being real with us. Things are very, very different than when we were all able to meet in person, and it's good that you're able to share with students what the future or what college is now and what the workforce is now and things that they should be thinking about now moving forward. So I am so happy to see you, and I'm glad you're being healthy and safe and successful. And students, do you have any additional questions for our panelists, our alumni? Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and end it here. Or did somebody have something to say? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I had a question.
Go ahead, Kevin.
It was for Juan. I just want to, I remember he said that he was working with in the cannabis industry, correct? Yeah, I just want to ask, I guess what's been the hardest part about, working within that industry? Are there like any stigmas that are tied to it that you've had to like kind of work towards, breaking down or, yeah.
Yeah, definitely there was like stigmas around. It was kind of funny. So at the hemp farm, we would grow hemp and it was my job to take photos of the product and create this website and stuff. But sometimes I got too close to the product that like the smell got like stuck to me. And then I would have to go and rush to class. And then in class, like it would smell like marijuana, but it wasn't like I wasn't smoking. I was just like working. So there's a lot of like funny things that come from kind of being in that sort of industry. I think my biggest barrier to entry have just kind of been my age. Like I'm 20, and so every single time that I go forward and ask someone if I can help them on their company, like I kind of just get rejected because of just simply my age, and which it makes sense just because of all of the federal problems that are currently going on with it. I've worked with 3 different CBD companies, and so I think a big part of it is that like hemp is a lot more of a commodity than like a specialized crop like marijuana. So it's really hard to market it, and it's really hard to sell as well. On the flip side, marijuana is there's a lot more regulation in it. That makes it a lot harder to proceed with whatever business you have. So there's definitely a lot of downsides to it, especially if you're younger. But how I'm thinking about it is that right now I'm really just learning and trying to see where the industry is heading so that in the future I could take that opportunity and turn it into my own company. No, I don't really know what that's going to be because I don't really know where the industry is going to be in 10 years from now. But I know that I have the skills needed to create something from the ground up that's going to make me happy. And also make a LinkedIn profile, because if you don't have a LinkedIn, please do. It helps you connect with people. I connect with people there all the time, and I always ask people questions that are like CEOs from different companies, and it's a really good opportunity as long as you know how to use it. I think Kevin had another question.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask, what time is the pitch gonna be?
Yeah, so the pitch will start at 4:30, and then it's gonna go on till 6. But we will be pitching at 5:15, and you can vote for us at 5:50. So technically, you could go watch us and then vote for us after. But come and watch because it's really cool to see the companies that these people have like pretty much built, and also some of the opportunities that you're able to have while in college if you decide to go that route. Once again, you don't have to go to college. There's a lot of different opportunities out there for you. I just wanted to make sure that I said that because I think nowadays we're seeing a lot of people with student loans that it just isn't healthy. So yeah, I wanted to mention that. But yeah, you'll be able to see a lot of cool things, especially our up and coming program at Cal Poly, which is the entrepreneurship program. We've been, I think, now ranked top 10 in the state for entrepreneurship programs. So we're like a really high growing kind of program that maybe you would like to join at Cal Poly, and that would be cool. You can ask me more questions about that as well.
Awesome, thank you. I'll try and make it to the event.
So that'd be dope.
All right. Students, if you can say thank you, and we can end here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the advice.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Reach out to any one of us if anyone has any more, or if wants any more advice, or just wants to ask any more questions. I'm sure that we're available.
Yeah, I'll definitely share their contact information with you, students. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and stop the recording here.